Hello students, good morning everyone. So here we are going to discuss about latest trends in the banking industry, current trends in banking sector. So you all know that these days we are actually making all the transactions of banking at our own place. Bank has become a digitized place where you can operate with a new range of systems, new trends, and your aspects increases your approach. So today we are going to discuss about the different banking applications, the different banking services which they do provide, so that you can have 24-hour access and conduct your dealings at a single place with any part over the world. So you will be going to learn about electronic fund transfer, electronic clearing system, any branch banking, risk management, ATMs, card management, and mobile banking. Before proceeding with the topic, let us first discuss about the learning objectives of this chapter. After completing this unit, you will be able to understand digital banking trends, explain how the age of the customer affects banking, describe what banks can do to win customer loyalty, initiate or accelerate your own bank's digital transformation, at Salesforce, partnering with banks of every size for 18 years. In that time, learned a thing or two about what customers expect from their banks. Share your vision for how banks can evolve to meet the needs of today's customers. Begin by reviewing some of the key trends impacting the banking industry today. So we are going to discuss about the following key terms: ATM, credit cards, CTS, debit cards, demand drafts, demat account, downturn, e-banking, and ECS, that is electronic clearing system. Now let us first discuss about ATM, an automated teller machine. It is an electronic telecommunications device that enables customers of financial institutions to perform financial transactions such as withdrawal of cash, deposits, fund transfers, or account information inquiries at any time or without the need for direct interaction with bank staff. ATMs are known by a variety of names, including automatic teller machine. Some examples of interbank networks include NYCE, Pulse, Plus, Cirrus, AFFN, Interac, Interswitch, Starlink, Megalink, and BankNet. ATMs rely on authorization of a financial transaction by the card issuer or other authorizing institution on a communications network. We have different types of credit cards. Let us have some examples. US Bank, a 0% purchase APR credit card, that is Visa Platinum card. Then Wells balance transfer credit card, Fargo Platinum card. Then is Journey Student credit card, rewards from Capital One business credit card, Spark Cash for Business. Other than this, we also have Bajaj Finserv, the reputed and renowned credit card service used these days to buy products on credit basis. Moreover, one can also avail credit card services from any bank even without having their own bank account in that branch. Only thing is that you should have a good credit worthiness in any of these card holders. If you have good CIBILs, you can obtain any credit card from a bank. Now the word CIBILs. CIBILs means that suppose if I have obtained an air conditioner from a trader on EMI basis and I have purchased the same from credit card, that is from Bajaj Finserv. Its limit was extended till 6 months. That is, in 6 months I have to clear my installments. So in that case, what happened, if I clear all my installments, that is the installments for which I have purchased air conditioner in the coming 6 months, then my CIBILs would be proper. It would be 100%, and then there will be no problem in issuing of a credit card by any reputed bank. Generally, a credit card has a limit of 27,000 and its payment by the person who has obtained the card, that is the card holder, he has to give the money back in bills, that is in short amounts in the form of cash memos sent by the bank as a reminder to the card holder. Now, a credit card is a payment card issued to users, that is card holders, to enable the card holder to pay a merchant for goods and services based on the card holder's promise to the card issuer to pay them for the amounts plus the other agreed charges. The card issuer, usually a bank, creates a revolving account and grants a line of credit to the credit holder from which the card holder can borrow money for payment to a merchant or as a cash advance. Now, CTS, that is check truncation system. Check truncation reduces or eliminates the physical movement of paper checks and reduces the time and cost of check clearance. That nowadays it takes about 48 hours for clearance of check, whether it is a local check or a check within 2 states. So there are different truncation softwares which are provided to handle the check truncation system. Providers are Polaris Financial Technology, Business Process Studio, and packages Intellect. That it's a software which is to be downloaded in the computers so that check truncation system can be operated with the help of a server. Next is Progress Soft Corporation Electronic Check Clearing with the help of PSECC. Now the next one. What is check truncation system? CTS, that is check truncation system, it is a check clearing system undertaken by the Reserve Bank of India RBI for quicker check clearance. As the term proposes, truncation is the course of discontinuing the flow of the physical check in its way of clearing. Instead of this, an electronic image of the check is transferred with vital essential data, that is with all the required and essential information, the needed information. Check truncation system brings elegance to the whole activity of check processing and clearing and offers numerous benefits to banks like time and cost savings, cost effectiveness, including human resource rationalization, business process re-engineering, and enhanced customer service. Next is types of debit cards. First we have a check card. A check card is a general term for a type of a debit card that functions like writing a check. Another very good example of a debit card is Visa debit card. It is backed by Visa, a credit card processing network. Next we have MasterCard debit cards, Maestro debit cards, Prebit debit cards, ATM cards, and EMV cards. So these are the different examples of usable debit cards these days. Now, what is a debit card? It is also known as a bank card, a plastic card, or a check card. It is a plastic payment card that can be used instead of cash when making purchases. It is similar to a credit card, but unlike a credit card, the money is immediately transferred directly from the card holder's bank account when performing any transaction. Some cards might carry a stored value with which a payment is made, while most cards relay a message to the cardholder's bank to withdraw funds from a pair's designated bank account. In some cases, the primary account number is assigned exclusively for use on the internet and there is no physical card. Next is a demand draft. A demand draft is a method used by an individual to make a transfer payment from one bank account to another. Demand drafts differ from regular normal checks in that they do not require signatures to be cashed. In 2005, due to the increasing fraudulent use of demand drafts, the Federal Reserve proposed new regulations increasing a victim's right to claim a refund and holding banks more accountable for cashing fraudulent checks. Next key term we have a Demat account, short term for dematerialized account. A Demat account is an account to hold financial securities, equity or debt in electronic form. In India, Demat accounts are maintained by two depository organizations, NSDL and CDSL, that is National Securities Depository Limited and Central Depository Services Limited. Demat and trading accounts. A demat account is usually accompanied by a trading account which is required for buying and selling shares in the stock market. HDFC Bank, for example, has a 3-in-1 account that combines a saving account, a demat account and a trading account. Next we have downturn, a reduction in the amount or success of something, such as country's economic activity. So these days, as we all know, the whole world is going through a downturn. That is, COVID-19 pandemic is going on and there is a recession period. Continuous economic downturn is there. There is evidence of a downturn in the housing market. Unfortunately, unemployment caused by an economic downturn is difficult to turn around due to the inability of non-working individuals to spend money. When the Cliff House was in a state of financial downturn, the economic downturn has changed the fashion industry dramatically. So Cliff House and fashion industry, these are two victims of economic downturn in the past few decades. Now the next one, e-banking, that is electronic banking. It is a blanket term used to indicate a process through which a customer is allowed to carry out personal or commercial banking transactions using electronic and telecommunication network. Online banking, also known as internet banking or web banking, is an electronic payment system that enables customers of a bank or other financial institution. For example, Citibank is a leader in e-banking, offering walk-in, face-to-face banking at its branches throughout many parts of the world, as well as e-banking services through the World Wide Web, that is through the full use of internet. Now the next one, that is ECS, Electronic Clearing System. It is usually used by the institutions for making bulk transactions, that is for a large number of transactions such as payments of dividend, interest, pension, salary, SIP investments, etc. Electronic clearing system can be used for both debit and credit transactions. Thus, the system can be used by an individual to pay EMIs and utility bills as well. Now, first of all, electronic clearing service, that is ECS, is the fastest, cheapest and safest method of transfer of money. Electronic modes of payment or receipt for all the transactions which are repetitive and periodic in nature. ECS is used by institutions for making bulk payments of amounts towards distribution of dividend, interest, salary, pension, etc. For bulk collection of amounts towards telephone, electricity, water dues, cess or tax collections, loan installment repayments, periodic investments in mutual funds, insurance premium, etc. Now the main one, that is a very important application of bank, that is RTGS. RTGS stands for Real Time Gross Settlement. You can see in the figure here that RTGS is supported by a single central server computer enforced by internet using two interfaces. One is participant, the one who want to apply the application of RTGS, and the banks who are going to clear and identify all those transactions. Let me give you an example of four banks: Bank A, Bank B, Bank C and Bank D. Now we have a central bank. So like India's central bank is RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. During an RTGS transfer, accounts of the different banks with the central bank are debited and credited. So suppose now Bank A can transact with Bank C with the help of RTGS, can transact with Bank A and D at the same time, but all their proceedings are recorded in central bank as well. Now Bank A has to pay Bank C 27 millions. So Bank A will be debited and Bank C will be credited with the help of RTGS system. RTGS system, that is real-time gross settlement, it is a fund transfer system under which transfer of funds takes place from one bank to another bank on real-time and gross basis. So we have two concepts to cover here. One is real-time and other is gross basis. Real-time means that there is no waiting period. You need not to wait for the transaction to take place. It will hardly take few seconds for the completion of a transaction. Transaction is settled as soon as it is processed. So you can look in the figure here. RTGS, an electronic payment transfer service which allows individual settlement of funds in real time. Banks do RTGS service Monday till Friday 9 am to 4:30 pm and Saturday 9 am to 2 pm. Its minimum limit is rupees 2 lakhs, but there is no maximum limit. So suppose if we have to transfer rupees 2 to 5 lakhs, then RTGS charges are rupees 30, and if the amount exceeds rupees 5 lakh, then RTGS charges are rupees 55. So one was real time, that is transaction is solved or it is posted as soon as possible. Now gross settlement means transaction is made on one-to-one basis without bundling or bunching of other transactions. That it is done in the chronological order as and when the application has been processed. It is more instant settlement system used mainly for high volume payments, that is from 2 lakhs and above. RTGS service is available to customers from 9 am to 3 pm on weekdays and from 9 am to 12 noon on Saturdays. This is the fastest possible system for transfer of money through the banking system. So look at the diagram here. Here is the merchant who is a businessman who is dealing in a product line, and merchant bank is also there, the bank where he has his own account. Then we have issuing bank credits merchant account. Now bank on the behalf of merchant is issuing bank credits Bank is also issuing consumer card to the merchant. Their monthly statement shows that they have made some purchases. When customer makes a purchases, then suppose if he has to make online payment, then SSL connection, that is an internet connection, is required. The merchant contacts clearinghouse and clearinghouse verifies account and balance. That is the central bank where all the transactions takes place. Now the next one, features of RTGS. The main features of RTGS are as follows. RTGS is not available at all the bank branches in India. This facility is provided only by CBS enabled bank branches. RTGS transactions are processed individually and continuously throughout banking hours rather than in batches. So look at the diagram here. One we have sending bank and other we have a receiving bank, and we have to make a payment. First of all, full payment message is given to the central processor, right? A settlement request is made to the central bank. It is confirmed. When the full payment is made, only then the receiving bank can credit the account. So the minimum amount in a RTGS transaction is rupees 2 lakh. There is no upper ceilings or no upper limits for a RTGS transaction. The receiving or beneficiary bank must credit the customer's account within 30 minutes of receiving the funds transfer message. The transfer is final and irrevocable. Customer fills up RTGS fund transfer request form first of all. Remittance amount and charges are paid, whatsoever bank wants to charge from him. Data entry is made in core banking solution system. When data transmission is done, the public interest system is maintained at a central server system. Then data is transmitted to the managers. It flows through RBI's IFTP and RTGS server. So the received bank, the bank who has to receive money, gets confirmation and then afterwards they credit the account of the customer. Next very important term, the very important trend is NEFT. That is National Electronic Funds Transfer. It is a countrywide system by which an individual, firm or company can electronically transfer funds from any bank branch to another individual, a firm or company having an account with any other bank branch in the country. The fund transfer takes place at a particular period of time. So these days it can be assessed 24 hours and full week. So NEFT helps you to transfer your payments from one branch to another branch, from one person to another person. Now all transfers are held till that time. In other words, NEFT transactions are settled in batches, that is in groups. During the weekdays, NEFT transactions takes place 7 times a day. That is 7 times you can transact your dealings. On Saturdays, NEFT transactions takes place 6 times a day. So there is a figure explaining NEFT fund transfer process. First of all, we have a pooling center here, right? We have a pooling center here. So a sender who wants to send the money approach his bank, the sender bank, Then the center bank approaches the pooling center, that is the dispute resolving area, where all the amendments and all the processings are received and directed by the clearing center, that is amount has been transferred from one account to another. Then the receiver bank receives the intimation of the transfer of payments, and ultimately the beneficiary's account is credited with the same amount. Any NEFT transaction initiated after a designated settlement time has to wait till the next designated settlement time. Now, there is a difference in timings for conducting NEFT or RTGS. Monday to Saturday, NEFT is 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and RTGS is 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Second and fourth Saturday, all Sundays and bank holidays, no NEFT and no RTGS transactions take place. Now, the maximum NEFT charges. So when transferred to the same bank, you transfer any amount, it's free of charge. That is from one bank to the other bank, but maybe it's different branch. When transfer from one bank is made to other bank, like from SBI to HDFC, from Bank of Baroda to PNB, that is from one bank to another bank, then up to rupees 10,000, rupees 2.50 is charged. From rupees 10,000 to 1 lakh, rupees 5. From 1 lakh till 2 lakhs, rupees 15. And above 2 lakhs is rupees 25. Now we will discuss about the features of NEFT. The main features of NEFT are as follows. A bank branch must be NEFT enabled to become a part of the NEFT funds transfer network. An individual firm or company can make use of NEFT even without having a bank account by depositing cash as a NEFT enabled bank branch. In order to receive funds through the NEFT system, an individual firm or company must have an account with a NEFT enabled bank branch. In case one does not have a bank account, the maximum amount that can be transferred through NEFT is when one has a bank account. There is no minimum or maximum amount that can be transferred through NEFT when one has a bank account. NEFT transactions take place in batches. NEFT cannot be used to receive foreign remittances. So here we will discuss about the various benefits of NEFT. First is paperless. Remitter need not send physical check, demand draft, DD stands for demand draft, to the beneficiary, or beneficiary need not visit bank for depositing any paper. Second, it's a reliable method. Credit confirmation of remittances sent by SMS or email. One can depend upon this facility. Now the next is third point, that is safe and secure. Beneficiary need not be apprehensive of loss or theft of physical instruments. Error-free, NEFT facility does not have much scope for errors. Economical, receiver does not have to pay any charges and sender is levied very nominal charges. Last benefit of NEFT is organized. It is done in batches, a batch-wise settlement. Near real-time funds transfer to beneficiary account is a secure manner. So these were all the various benefits of using NEFT system. Now the sender of funds has to pay the following charges for NEFT. for an amount up to rupees 1 lakh to 5 lakh plus service tax. For an amount above rupees 1 lakh and up to rupees 2 lakhs, rupees 15 plus service tax. For an amount above rupees 2 lakhs, rupees 25 plus service tax. The receiver of funds has to pay no charges. Only the one who is remitting or one who is the sender has to pay charges. So here there is a NEFT process. First of all, a request is made by a remitter. The remitter bank prepares structured financial messaging solution and send it. Then the service center of remitter bank asks for NEFT. National Clearance Cell, RBI, Mumbai. So there all the transactions are first verified according to the norms of banking, and then bank-wise sorting of transactions and affecting net debit or credit through next available settlement. So once the settlement is made, it is forwarded to the receiver bank and ultimately to the customer. So what we have to debit here, that is remitter's account, and what we have to credit here, that is customer's account. All process of NEFT is completed within half an hour to 1 hour. Now there is a difference between NEFT, RTGS and IMPS. That is, IMPS stands for Intermobile Payment System. In NEFT, minimum transfer value is ₹1. In RTGS, it is rupees 2 lakhs. And in IMPS, it is again ₹1. NEFT can make payments either online or offline. Similarly, in RTGS, online and offline payments can be made, but for IMPS, your data or you should be online so that payment can be transacted. In NEFT and RTGS, there is no maximum transfer value, but in IMPS, it is 2 lakhs. So in NEFT, settlements are made in half hourly basis. In RTGS, it is done real time, that is as soon as possible. Now, NEFT service timings is 8 to 7 p.m. working days except 2nd and 4th Saturday. RTGS 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for working days, and IMPS full year 24 hours 7 days. NEFT has no inward transaction charges. Similarly, RTGS also does not have, but IMPS is decided by the individual member banks and PPIs. That is private public institutions. Now, the electronic banking. So we know we do a lot of businesses online. We have electronic businesses. There is a list of different electronic businesses: e-auctioning, e-banking, e-commerce, e-communications, e-directories, e-franchising, e-fulfillment, e-gambling, e-gaming, e-information, e-learning, e-logistics, e-mailing, e-marketing, e-media, e-news, e-operations management, e-research, e-supply, e-trading, e-transaction processing, e-travel, e-virtual reality, and e-giants. So in your commerce, you also have listened or learned about B2B, that is business to business. That is when two businessmen deal with each other. B2C, that is business to commerce. Then B2E, that is business to enterprise. G2C, that is government to customer. And P2P, that is public sector to private sector. So, electronic banking means banking transactions are carried out with the help of computer systems. Any user having a PC and a browser can access the bank website and avail banking services. Electronic banking is banking over the internet. It is a part of virtual banking system. Now, what are the various features of e-banking? There is no face-to-face contact in person between the bank and the client. Both the bank and the client need computer or mobile. The client has to give e-banking option to the bank. The bank staff and the client must understand e-banking technology. We have different types of e-banking. PC banking, that is personal computer banking, internet banking, SMS banking, virtual banking, digital TV banking, ATMs, telebanking, plastic cards and electronic checks. What are the various advantages of e-banking? E-banking offers the following benefits to customers. Customers get 24 hours and 365 days a year services. Customers can make the permitted transactions from residence or office and even while traveling. They need not go to the bank. Recording of each and every transaction inculcates a sense of financial discipline. Customers feel a sense of security. They do not face the risk of carrying cash. Another advantage is unlimited access to the bank increases customer satisfaction. E-banking offers the other benefits like a competitive advantage. Network of the bank is not limited to the number of branches. Rather, it expands far and wide. Centralized database reduces load on branches. Next is disadvantages of e-banking. E-banking suffers from the following limitations. The bank and its clients have to invest money in e-banking technology. Training in technology is needed for both. Training in technology to transact due to defect or wires that sometimes it is not able to be understandable by the clients also. Any oversight or error on the part of bank or client can be very harmful. For example, rupees 5 lakh might be transferred because of error in mentioning zero. May it be 50 lakhs or may it be just rupees 50,000. But adding or subtracting one single zero makes a huge difference. Now let us revise the advantages and disadvantages of e-banking. First of all, easily identifies trends and patterns. No human intervention needed. Continuous improvement. Handling multi-dimensional and multi-variety data. Moreover, e-banking has a very wide scope. But on the other hand, when we talk about the disadvantages of electronic banking, first is data acquisition. That is acquiring and storing more and more data of customers because they are processing at their own places. Consumption of more time and wastage of utilization, wastage or underutilization of resources. Interpretation of results. High error suspectability. Now the next one. 3 forms of electronic banking. First we have EFTS, that is electronic funds transfer system. Under this system, money can be transferred from one account to another account. For example, a bank transfers wages and salaries directly from the company's account to the account of the employees of the company. This service saves both employer and employees from the convenience and risk of handling large amounts of cash. So you can see a diagram here. One person is using internet banking service, e-banking service. He is a customer in a bank. Now he has a broadband wireless phone connection. He is connected with the server of the bank by customer ISP. Now this customer ISP is connected with bank ISP through internet. Bank ISP is sending or guiding actions to the bank through a router which is protected by a firewall. That is, no attack of virus and no delete of data or no corruption or no exploitation of Windows. So when a website server, external DNS server and internal DNS server are put so that they are protected by the network as well as firewall system. So this internal network and core banking system is running at a pace these days because they have integrated systems having a proxy server. That is a server which is present, which can mark the attendance of all or which is helping others. Like sometimes if you are using an app or you need some help to use the app, so there is an option of help every time visible in your phone. So what is it? It's a host based IDS which is helping you to assess your data and help you to solve the same. The main examples of EFT are as follows. First of all, salary, pension, dividend on shares, interest on debentures, commission, royalty, etc. All these are directly credited to bank account of a person, right? It acts as a record. Moreover, there is no chance of mishandling of cash. Direct debits, that is where there is reduction in cash. First we have loan installments, payment of school fees, payment of insurance premium, telephone bills, electricity bills, water bills, club membership fees, credit card dues, etc. are directly debited to the bank account of the account holder. Now, electronic fund transfer, that is EFT, has the following advantages. Payments are made on due dates. There is no loss in transit. No expenses are to made on correspondence, that is with the help of other branches. There is no mishandling of cash and the transactions are effortless. For example, a business is there, Top Hat Company. They want to do electronic fund transaction and they want to pay to their employees. So according to the bank computer system, from the account of Top Hat companies, amount is transferred to different employees' accounts as on when the date is due or instructions are made. Now, other than these trends, due to modernization, improvement in technology, we can have more trends in digital banking. Like we will be having in the coming years, Chase Bank that has already unveiled the next generation of ATMs which use a mobile phone to authenticate the user. That is, you will have to scan your mobile phone through the ATMs to operate it first. Banks are experimenting with allowing users to use their mobile devices to send withdrawal messages to ATMs and then dispense the money when the customer drives through the ATM, like ordering movie tickets online and then pick up at the theater. Expect to see more banks partner with new digital payments vendor such as Apple, Samsung and Google to offer these payment options to merchants and customers. Facebook is poised to launch its new P2P payment feature that allows individuals to send money to any friend on Facebook, that is person to person. Mobile banking applications for small businesses are already in various stages of development and deployment. Virtual branches, the online banking system, is being deployed with no live agents and where customers can access interactive video terminals and ATMs to speak to live agents to withdraw money and handle various banking needs. So there are I have just covered here 6 business trends in banking which was just recently launched in the previous year. Open banking and business model innovation pick up steam. Customer journeys move ahead. APIs begin to mature. Security faces new threats. Workforce changes culture. Privacy is priority. So, in last year we come to know about the concepts of digital wallets, e-wallets and mobile wallet. That is, rather than keeping your money in your own wallet in your pockets, you can keep your money in your mobile phones through e-wallets. So there is an application, a new application which is to be introduced by Banking Act, that is BFSI, Banking, Finance, Services and Insurance, and these all 4 streams will be going to update their workforce culture with a journey to move ahead. So I hope the topic of latest banking trends is now clear to all of you. Read the pages 109 till 114. Follow the YouTube link to have more knowledge of the concepts. Listen to the school link properly and answer the following questions. Explain the term RTGS. Distinguish between RTGS and NEFT. What is gross settlement in RTGS? List any 4 features of NEFT. Explain the meaning of e-banking. State any of its 3 features. Also, mention the various types of e-banking facilities. Thank you.